Hey everybody, welcome back to Rachel Reads. My name is Rachel. I love to read and write Christian fiction, and today I am doing the Bible book tag. So I saw this on Celestia's channel as well as a few other channels, and I decided that I wanted to do it. So yeah, that's about all I have for this intro. I'm just gonna go ahead and get started talking about my favorite book, the Bible. Question number 1 is, what is your favorite book of the Bible? And I'm gonna have to pick one from the Old and the New Testament just because I can't pick one. And from the Old Testament, I'll say Esther. And from the New Testament, I think I'll say Romans, just because it has a lot of good Christian themes in it. You know, how to become a Christian, how to live the Christian life, and all that stuff. And Esther, just because she's like my favorite Old Testament character. But yeah. Question number 2, what is your favorite Bible story? I think for Old Testament, I'll say Joseph, just because, you know, he stayed faithful to God even in the trials. And for the New Testament, I'm going to say the story, I'll put the reference up here, where the Pharisees brought before Jesus an adulterer or an adulteress, and he started writing in the ground, and we don't know what he wrote, but he ended up like forgiving the lady. And I really just love that story. There's like so much mystery around it, but you can also just see God's forgiveness, and it never ends, and that's just a great story. So yeah. Number 3 is, who is your favorite person in the Bible? Jesus. Yeah, Jesus. I will say besides Jesus, even though he's a great one, I'll say Esther from the Old Testament. She's just one of my favorites. And for the New Testament, besides Jesus, maybe Peter, because Peter believed in Jesus, but he still failed, and he always, even though he failed, he still went back to Jesus, and he ended up trusting him. And so I have 1st and 2nd Peter. Number 4, what is your favorite Bible verse? And I've gone through a few different verses just because there's like so many good ones. I like Romans 8:1. That one's a really good one. Jude verse 22. There's a lot of good verses. A lot of the Psalms are really good in my opinion. I like the one where it says, what is man that thou art mindful of him? 1 John 1:9 is really good too. Number 5 is, what is your favorite translation and Bible to read that you own? So the Bible I use is the King James Version, KJV only, because, you know, it's the closest to the Greek, Hebrew, Aramaic that we can get. And I can't speak any of those languages, so getting as close to what like Moses and Paul wrote originally, I think that's great. And this Bible right here is by Barber Publishing, but this is the Bible I bring to church. I bring pretty much everywhere with me. It's what I read. I just like underline under here, and yeah, it's just like a reading Bible. Bring it everywhere with me. And then this Bible is also by Barber Publishing, but this is more of a study Bible. Like it has, let's see if I can find one. This has like really big margins in it, random numbers, kind of ironic. Let me see if I can get New Testament. Okay, here's Matthew 4. I don't know if you can read it, but yeah, it's got like really wide margins and a great underlining space. And I have highlighted some, currently mostly in Psalms. I don't highlight too much anymore, but I did highlight some before. Let me see if I can find the Psalms, because I highlighted a lot in Psalms. Okay, here's like the first chapter of Psalm. Well, first 4 or 5 chapters. You can see it's very highlighted. But yeah, this is like the study Bible I use for the Bible plan. I'm currently going through like reading the Bible chronologically for a year. So very exciting. But yeah, this is the Bible I use for that reading. And then I read a Proverbs a day in this Bible. So these are the Bibles I use, the King James Version. Number 6 is, what is your favorite hymn, chorus, song, singer, and band? For him, And Can It Be is probably my favorite. There's just something about And Can It Be. It's just so beautiful and so pretty. The Old Rugged Cross is such a beautiful song. Also, like, I'm semi-musical, so like the whole like minor key in the Old Rugged Cross is so pretty. And for Christmas, I'm gonna throw this in here. O Come Emmanuel. I love that song. It's so beautiful. Chorus, I'm trying to think. Every Day with Jesus is really good. Like the lyrics are, every day with Jesus is sweeter than the day before. I really like that one. I'm trying to think here, so if I'm like not looking at the camera, I'm really trying to think. What a Day That Will Be. I like that chorus. That's a really good chorus. Great is Thy Faithfulness. This one's really pretty. yeah, I think that's about it for choruses. My favorite song that's like not a hymn, I like, for my favorite song, I probably will say I Owe It All to You, Lord by Calvin Allen. He does a really great job singing it. It's such a beautiful song, and he adds a third verse that is so good. That third verse is like beautiful. Also, By the Way of the Cross by Joyful Melodies. I think that's what it's called. Love that song. And my last favorite song I'll say is Sufficient by Heartland Bible Baptist College. It could be Bible Baptist or Baptist Bible. I can't really remember. But yeah, I also love that song. My favorite singer, like soul singer, I mean, I like Ron Hamilton. He's really good. He wrote a lot of great songs. And Calvin Allen, I've listened to him. Alvin Martinez, he has a great voice and he sings with his daughter, so he does really great. And for the last one, I don't listen to Christian bands, but there are like Christian groups I listen to. Any of the Heartland Bible Baptist Choir, they have like a few groups that are really good. And Golden State Baptist College, I haven't listened to like all of their songs, there's just a lot, but almost all of their songs are really good and they do a great job singing them. So question number 7 is, what is your favorite Christian movie? I'm gonna say The Chronicles of Narnia to start with, just because those are like my childhood favorites. I could rewatch them. I love those movies so much. The third movie is the best, and I know it's like people like the movies or they don't. I love them personally. Third movie is the best. Also the Kendrick brother movies, those are really good. My personal favorite is Facing the Giants or Overcomer. Those are really good movies, and they have a documentary called Show Me the Father, and I love that. I'm not a documentary person. I don't like nonfiction unless it's the Bible. Yeah, I'm not much of like a nonfiction person, but that one was beautiful. It's like those nonfiction that are told as a story and understandable. So yeah, I'll say that. Number 8, who's your favorite speaker preacher? So at my church, I like listening to a lot of people. My dad's a really good preacher. Jason Gaddis from Heartland Bible Baptist College, and Jason Fugit from Claysmo Baptist, and he also runs Commonwealth Baptist College. They're really good speakers. And then there's this thing called the Higher Grounds podcast. It's led by Andy Wells. They have it's like less than 5-minute morning meditations, they call it, and they're really good. Highly recommend listening to them. It's called Higher Grounds Podcast. Besides that, I mean, Bobby Robertson, Bobby Robertson is one of my favorites for multiple reasons, but yeah, there's a lot of good speakers out there. So yeah. Who's your favorite fiction and nonfiction Christian author? So for nonfiction, which I don't read a lot of, can I say God? He's my favorite. My favorite nonfiction Christian author is God. He wrote the Bible. It's a great book. Besides that, Sadie Robertson, some of her books have been pretty good that I've read, so I guess that. Favorite fiction author, my favorite Christian fiction author, can I just say, like, essentially any of these, I guess? I mean, if I had to pick a few, if I pick one from each shelf, that's going to be hard. I'll say Joanna Davis and Politana for my historical, Aaron Mangum for contemporary, and then I guess Nadine Brandes really covers dystopian and fantasy, so I'll say her. She probably is my top favorite though, for multiple reasons. She writes great books. So yeah. Number 10, what is your favorite Christian fiction and nonfiction book? Let me grab my nonfictions really quick. So like I mentioned before, I have read 2 of Sadie Robertson's nonfictions and they were pretty good. But I also read Linda Wilkerson's Love a More Excellent Way. It's a very small devotional, but yeah, it was a pretty good book, and I don't remember a lot. Like I remember a little bit. It's a great book though. It's a pretty great book all about God's love. Yeah, it's a pretty good book though. I highly recommend it if you want a book on God's love. Very solid, biblically founded. So yeah, highly recommend this nonfiction. For another nonfiction book, I'm just gonna say the Bible again. I mean, it happened like 2,000 plus years ago. Great book. It's nonfiction, so yeah, highly recommend this book. Obviously, but you know. And then fiction, picking one Christian fiction book to say my favorite is kind of like Owl, because there's so many good ones. So I don't know if I'll pick one from each shelf. I'll probably pick 2 down here, or at least like 2 on one of these shelves, and then 1 from each of these. And let me grab the books. So this is my I might do a bookshelf tour, maybe not. But this is my Christian. It's all Christian fiction mostly. But this is romance and romantic suspense. So for that shelf, I picked Mind the Gap by Erin Mangum. I love Erin Mangum's books. I have not read her novellas or the sequels to some of her series, but I've read the rest. So this is her most recent release called Mind the Gap. This is about a girl who goes to London. It's got a great story, but the faith content in here is so worth talking about. It has a great theme. It's a great book. If I could talk about it all day, I probably would. Highly recommend. I gave it 5 stars. It's set in London. There's a sweet, small romance, and it's great faith content. Literally beautiful. So, yeah, I would say this book for this shelf. And then this is my historical fiction shelf. Yeah, this is historical fiction. There is a biblical fiction and a classic, but mostly historical. And for that, I'm going to say A Rumored Fortune by Joanna Davidson Napolitano. Now, my personal favorite is A Midnight Dance, but this one has, I think, the strongest theme to it, and that is truth and love. And I don't know, it's just something about this Victorian era mystery with also a little bit of romance, great faith. So yeah, if you like historical and have not read Joanna Davidson Napolitano, I highly recommend. Her books are great. There's always good faith content, small romances, and mysteries, which is just amazing. So yeah, great book. The first one I want to pick down here is A Time to Die by Nadine Brandes. Y'all have heard me talk about this book so much, but this book has tons of faith content in it. It is literally a faith journey about Parvin, and I highly recommend it. It's dystopian. There's action and adventure. There's a small romance in the series, but mostly it's just great faith, it's just great things about talking to God, being honest with God, and just talking to him. Not worrying about the future is a touchy topic, but when you really trust God, it's just amazing. And this book always encourages my faith. And for the second-ish books I'm going to pick, y'all heard me rave about them last week. I'm going to pick The Curious Reality duologies just because there is such a theme about seeking the truth and having the faith and seeing through these things that, are in our lives. And these books are so good. They're just so good. I don't know what about them just captivates me, because I'm not an Alice in Wonderland person typically, but these books, they were just stunning. And there's just great faith themes that I could talk about all day. So I'll say these for the final books on the shelf. So that is the last question besides tag someone. But because this has been out for a while, I'm not going to tag anyone yet. But if you've been waiting for someone to tag you, go ahead and do it. If you want to do it, do it. I had a lot of fun with this. So yeah, you get to talk about your favorite book. What's better than that? So that's all for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope God bless you today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.